Bigger than Hip Hop Show.
But if you go to jperiod.com/q-tip, jperiod.com, even just go to jperiod.com.
jperiod.com, you know what's going on as soon as you hit jperiod.com.
Yeah, basically.
I like the promotion for the mixtape too. You got a whole push, like a whole, I don't even know what to call it, but you go to the site, people, jperiod.com, you'll understand what I mean. A whole campaign.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a marketing campaign. Like that's, if we're going to talk about mixtapes and kind of the direction they're going, like I could speak on that, but my mixtapes aren't just, creatively interesting or thorough. Like I try to be just as thorough with the push and how we, spread it around. So normally we have different, channels for doing that. This time we decided we were going to give it away for free and really blast it out through every outlet. And so far it's been definitely a success. And, Tip's team is very happy about it. His label is very happy about it. So it serves the purposes of everybody.
Perfect segue. That's my next question. Okay, so we know the artists. I mean, the general feeling is that the artists are very happy about these types of things, mixtapes. We know the effect a mixtape can have on an artist. But what about the label? How does the label feel about 300,000 downloads of, copyrighted music?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's more about exposure. It's something that in this day and age, it's not just about downloads, and that number 300,000 isn't just downloads. It's also page views. It's also hits on sites. Various ways of bringing about attention to the artist. And in this day and age, you're not going to sell millions and millions of units the way you used to. You're really trying to create a brand. And what I do is helping to support the brand. It's spreading around the artist and their message and what they're all about, and bringing about other opportunities, whether it's, performances or, other kinds of, endorsement deals. All kinds of things happen from an artist's exposure, and profile being raised. And on top of that, you have an artist like Q-Tip, who really is from a previous generation of artists that a lot of young kids, they don't even know about. So I'm using this channel and this, sort of medium that younger people understand, which is the internet, and going through the blogs and, putting out a mixtape and making it downloadable and all these things that really help introduce, Tip's music to a whole other generation of people. You would be amazed at how many people are like, younger people like, I've never heard of A Tribe Called Quest. Wow. And this is the first thing they're going to hear, and it's going to open up a whole other universe for them. And then they're going to go and buy Midnight Marauders, and they're going to buy Low End Theory, and they're going to become, another generation of fans. So that's the purpose it serves. And there are labels that don't understand that, and they're behind the times. And there are labels that do understand that, and, we'll see, but, hopefully soon there'll be labels that understand it and want to push it instead of just tolerating it, because the truth is that this is generating just as much heat for the artist as the album is.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. So would you say that most labels right now are tolerating it?
I mean, I can't even say that. I think that, it's really case-by-case basis. And I think even within the labels, you'll find that they're like warring factions. The marketing department loves it. The legal department hates it. And, and they fight amongst themselves. So, I mean, it's one of the reasons that the labels, the bigger labels, are slowly declining. Absolutely. Because they can't keep up.
Nah, and the game has totally changed, especially with the internet and whatnot. Okay, have any labels approached you? Have you caught any heat? Because you got a lot of mixtapes.
I mean, what you have to understand is that I get hired by the labels to do this. I got hired by the label to do the Roots mixtape and the Kanye West mixtape and the Mary J. Blige mixtape and the Isley Brothers mixtape. Like, they paid me to do all of those because they recognize that it's a marketing tool. And in some cases, they paid me and then they freaked out about it. I'm not even going to say which ones.
Wow.
But
what was the issue? When they freaked out, what was the issue?
I mean, really, the issue is hypocrisy. But yes. The bottom line issue is that there is an older generation of people that work at these companies that don't understand the way the game has changed, and so they are basically defeating themselves by fighting this whatever you want to call it, movement or force that they can instead be utilizing and capitalizing off of. So, in the meantime, if I can demonstrate with an artist like Q-Tip who maybe, isn't going to sell 1 million units, and I can show that this guy has unbelievable potential if they, put the right kind of push on him, then maybe that will change people's minds and open up people's minds. But, I'm really about supporting the artists, supporting the music, and spreading what I believe to be the right kind of hip hop. Like, I don't do these takes on some BS artists or some people that are, I'm interested in artists that are about something.
I can see, you could tell. You could look at the discography and see the direction you're going in here. So, and that's something that drew the T-Dot to you, I must say, because I don't know if you've ever been to Toronto, but
I haven't yet. I want to come up there soon.
You need to come up here. The hip hop scene up here will, it'll pleasantly surprise you. I don't know if I should put it that way.
I mean, yeah, I've been told that actually, I've been speaking to my man Cardinal, official, about doing some stuff for a minute. He actually contributed to the Roots mixtape, and I'm also, for the young heads out there, I'm about to do something with Kanon, who is really on the come up. And Kanon's album just dropped, and we have a mixtape that is absolutely ridiculous that is going to be coming out shortly after the Q-Tip.
All right, we're hitting you up for that, man. As soon as that gets pressed, we're linking that up. I wanted to.
I got to send a bunch of stuff to the station.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we touched on the labels and everything like that. That is the most interesting part right now because the whole game has changed. I mean, in Toronto, there was a big sweep, I think it was back in 2001, where they went into all the record stores and grabbed all the CDs because they were upset that tapes turned into CDs, right? When it became easier and cheaper to burn CDs, and now, the quality's digital, just like the album, that's going to hurt record sales. Is there anything in terms of the way things are done that labels particularly are worried about or fear?
I mean, to be honest, I don't think that the mixtapes are at the heart of what labels are afraid of. I think labels are afraid of declining album sales and losing money. You know what I'm saying? They just get to the point where they're losing money, and so they start pointing the finger at every little thing that they think is causing them to lose money, not realizing that some of those things could be helping them to make money.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
It's a really simple formula. The labels exist to make money. In a lot of cases, they don't even care about the artists. Like, their goal is to make money off of that artist, not really to help that artist have a long career, or to prosper. So a lot of the times the artists end up doing for themselves, like, 50 is on Interscope, but he's still going to go and make mixtapes. And Lil Wayne is still going to go and make mixtapes. Yeah. And between the two of them, they probably make too many mixtapes. but, regardless, like, the artist to me is what's important. I'm not trying to piss off the label, but, I am trying to open up the eyes of the label.
Don't know. I think a lot of label eyes are going to have to open at some point. With the way things are going right now, let's just say they're going to have to open. Jay, man, you got a lot going on outside of the mixtapes. The mixtaping thing, I think, from what it looks like, would you say that's your main bread and butter right there is the mixtapes?
I mean, not really, to be honest, like, as far as the bread and butter and what puts food on the table, that's not really it. Like, I produced joints for, like, I actually produced the entire soundtrack for the Tony Hawk Nintendo DS game last year.
That's crazy.
That actually came about from a mixtape I did with a group called Game Rebellion, which is like this punk rock hip hop band in Brooklyn. And basically the video game company Activision heard that mixtape and they liked what I did on that mixtape, so they asked me to produce original joints that were of that same style. So I did that. I've also produced a couple tracks for movie trailers. American Gangster, I had a track in the trailer for that. And another movie that came out last year called Street Kings.
Street Kings, yep.
With Keanu Reeves and Forrest Whitaker. And basically, I'm trying to push the envelope in a lot of different ways, whether it's, being the first mixtape DJ to get a track off a mixtape in a movie trailer, like no one had ever done that, being the first mixtape dude to score an entire soundtrack for a video game. Like, lots of other DJs and producers have been placing songs on soundtracks, but I don't know anybody else that ever did a whole video game soundtrack that was doing mixtapes, before that.
That was the entire Tony Hawk soundtrack. Yo, the credits are crazy. Yeah, the Tony Hawk soundtrack, that game is out right now.